You're listening to the Naptime Empires podcast with my mom, Nikki Elledge Brown. Mom, your show's on.
Thanks, bud. I got it from here. Welcome to the Naptime Empires podcast, refreshingly honest conversations on the realities of parenthood and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Nikki Elledge Brown. Let's get started. Okay, that could have been bad. I just started recording and then realized the little thingy wasn't moving to show the noise levels, the volume levels. And so I realized that my microphone was on mute. And that doesn't make for a very good podcast now, does it? All right, so can you tell I'm a little scattered? It's because I'm in true Naptime Empires micro hustle mode right now. I have about 20 minutes before I need to potentially wake up Deacon from his nap to go pick up his big brother at kindergarten. And I wanted to talk to you. This idea for this episode came to me a few weeks ago because Deacon, who recently turned 2, has started speaking in full paragraphs, just like, not actual words, okay? I mean, to him, they're words, but he's just like, blah, 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 blah. And the looks on his faces, he's just like, he knows exactly what he's saying. And we're just like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. And this is really fun to watch, this human learning to communicate. You know, that's one of the coolest things about being a parent, is having this front row seat as they learn about the world around them and how to connect with people. And lately, over the last couple of months, I've been reading some parenting books that I just have really enjoyed. I've probably mentioned them before, and I will do full-on book report style episodes because I think you'll really enjoy them too. One of them is called Magical Parent, Magical Child, and then other ones are by Dr. Shefali, which again, I'll share those later. But one of the key takeaways really in both of them is that our kids aren't ours. You know, it's not like they're ours to keep and they're ours to mold. They came through us. I mean, however you ended up with your kiddos, not necessarily even biologically, but these kiddos that we've attracted into our lives, they're our teachers. Just as much as we're here to guide them, we're here to learn from them. And those childlike qualities like curiosity and playfulness and humor and wonder and resilience and experimentation and testing boundaries, all of those traits, if we're not mindful, we just kind of let them atrophy as we transform into, air quotes, grownups. You know what I mean? That's basically, and honestly, all I've read is the first 15 pages of this book so far, but it was really transformative 15 pages. I went and did a full Facebook Live in my Trimester of Awesome group because I was like, y'all have to know about this book. Anyway, so our kids are teachers, and I know that you know that. And whether you have kids or not, the kiddos in your life, I mean, you can just witness the way that a child is in the world, and you can be inspired to remember those qualities in yourself. So here's where I'm going with this. When Deacon was, or is, just kind of babbling on, full confidence, not concerned at all that we don't actually know what he's saying, I was like, this is exactly what we need to do with our message, with our mission, with our voice. I've been in business almost 5 years now, which is bizarre to me. I mean, in some ways it feels like a lifetime, and in some ways it feels like a blink, especially because of how fast my little guys now have grown in the last 5 years. Okay, well, anyway, let's not do the math. Deacon didn't exist yet, as a twinkle in the eye. But nonetheless, this is a place where we often get stuck. And we want to pause and overanalyze, what is my voice? Especially think about the people who come into my sphere with a course about copy, which I need to tell you something about that, by the way. Make sure you're watching your inbox for me. If you're listening to this in real time, watch your inbox. Make sure you've got me set as a contact in your phone or for your email, nikki@nikkielledgebrown.com, because I have some exciting stuff coming with that. But really the mission behind a course about copy, yeah, it's about helping you write your site and making that process infinitely easier than it otherwise would be. That's a rough estimate if you were doing it on your own. The true message is about your voice matters. I've done an episode on that as well. Your voice is exactly what your dreamies need, right? And so that's what people are coming to me for. It's like, help. I feel like this isn't my voice that's coming out through the keyboard. This isn't actually what I sound like. And then people start to overanalyze and worry about getting it right. And then they just stop, or they're paralyzed, and it's like miserable. I've had people emailing me lately. I've been sending emails and replying to emails, and it's been so fun just to connect So if I do send you an email and ask a question, please do reply. I'm actually reading every email. But I get a lot of people who are overanalyzing and thinking, I don't know. What is my voice? What is my message? And you know what? The whole we teach what we most need to learn thing, that's the irony, is that I've been in the same boat. I mean, I knew coming in and starting my business 5 years ago, I wanted to help people with communication because that's just a skill I've always been, patted on the head for my whole life and everything, storytelling and connecting and all of that. But then when I started to freeze myself out and kind of slow things down after I came running out of the gate at the very beginning, then I've had time to be like, well, what is my message? What is my voice? I mean, I know my personality and I'm good at writing about that, but my big sticking point has been, what do I actually want to talk about? Because I knew, for example, I wanted to talk about Naptime empires-y things, meaning just life from the lens as a family-focused female entrepreneur, growing my business with little ones at home. But I also do like helping people with things that come really naturally to me that obviously other people struggle with. So then there's the communication piece. And so I've been going back and forth and then eventually really just sidelined myself. I've been recording this podcast for over a year now, but honestly, I haven't shared it very much because I'm like, I don't want to confuse people. If I don't know what I'm talking about, then I don't want them to be like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. But what am I doing anyway? I'm just talking. I just wanted to start a conversation. I just wanted to have this channel to be able to connect and communicate with you. And I very much, almost every time, I was telling one of my dear friends who's just about to launch her new podcast, I'm like, almost every time I'm done recording, I want to delete it before my editor can find it in the Dropbox and publish it to Libsyn. I really do feel that way because I'm like, what am I even talking about? I'm totally babbling. Somebody's going to email me and be like, you just wasted 15 minutes of my life. That's never happened, by the way. And if it does happen, I have the tools to, get over it and the friends to vent to and get over it, by the way. I don't think that's going to happen because really what happens is people are like, oh my gosh, how are you in my head every single time? And that's because I'm really trying to let this be the space where I can be playful and I can experiment and I can just be curious and talk about things that I'm interested in talking about, like this one random inspired moment from Deacon, just sharing his paragraphs with us. And that's the message. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. If you're in this place right now in your life and or in your business where you're wondering, what is my message? What is my voice? I say this all the time. Your voice is like, you do have a voice. It's not that you have to uncover it. It's the voice that you use when you're interacting with humans as you walk around the planet. It's there. It's just, there's a lot of mindset gobbledygook that kind of like clutters up the way between your head and your fingertips sometimes, or even your head and your mouth, because you might be on video and you might be like, what the F? That is not at all what I would sound like if I was talking to my best friend. And I talk about the BFF test and how you can read your copy out loud. And if your best friend would make silly faces at you because that's not something you would ever say, then you can go back and tweak it. I have all kinds of helpful tips and tricks just to help you get out of your head. But the main message behind this particular episode is I want you to realize that just like Deacon, we learn by doing. By using his voice, he's finding his voice. And we can do the same. Because he really doesn't care. He doesn't care that there are no actual words in his paragraphs yet, because he knows what he's saying. And he's just testing the waters to see how we react. He's learning by doing. He doesn't feel afraid of sounding silly. That's actually a bonus if he does. He's not afraid of if he's not making any sense. He's just communicating and he's getting feedback. And then that's kind of tweaking how he goes. He's learning as he goes. And this is what you can do in your own message, in your own business, is that you just start talking about something that interests you. Start talking about something you were inspired by the other day. Start talking about what you're noticing. Talk about what fires you up or pisses you off. Excuse me, earbuds. The show is for you and not for your kids, so just assume that. But you know what I mean? I know it's easier said than done. I really do know that it's easier said than done. My friend Suze says you can't plan being yourself. And as much of a B as that can be to hear, because you want to be able to plan and have all the steps and the process of here's how I'm going to get clear. And I'm going to do all of this before I ever have to put myself out there. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. So what I want to encourage you to do today is to think about and give yourself permission to just start talking about something that matters to you today, whether that's on your personal Facebook profile or Instagram or wherever you like to connect with people. Maybe it is in your email list, in an email to your list. Whatever it is, just start talking about what you're noticing, what you're interested in, what you're curious about. Those are the things that are going to lead you to whatever your message is, and it's going to evolve as you do. I'll put a link to the show notes to this Ira Glass video that's really helpful about how nobody's really great just out of the womb at whatever it is in terms of art, creativity. But there is a voice inside of you that is true to you. It's your unique set of skills, interests, perspectives, experiences, all of those things. And you're not going to think your way to it. You have to speak your way to it. And sometimes you might sound silly, or sometimes you might not be ultra clear, but you're not going to get clear by staying still. Let me think of all the cliches I can share with you right now. You can't steer a parked car. That's a good one. And what's the other one? There's one about like how running water is clear, but the water that's still is the murky water. I'm definitely messing that one up. But you get the point, right? So that's what I want to share with you. Let's all be a little bit more like Deacon this month, this week, this year, and just put ourselves out there, because truly we're not going to think our way into clarity or confidence. We just have to get out there. Baby steps. Start in your comfort zone. Start in someone else's Facebook group. Come to the Naptime Empires Playground and comment on one of my posts and just practice. But whatever you do, please don't let yourself stay stuck in your head, overthinking and being so hard on yourself. Because truly that's what I see when I'm asking, what are people struggling with? It's like, I'm too this or I'm too that. It's miserable, and we're so hard on ourselves. And I know, because I do it too, but we're so hard on ourselves and we really don't need to be. And if you would just let yourself put a little bit of something out there, even if it's, like I said, just one Facebook post, doesn't even have to be an email. Great if it is an email though. And just start experimenting. Start using your voice. It's there. It's yours. And the more you use it, the stronger. It's like you're building a muscle. It's going to get leaner, stronger, more sculpted, clearer, and you're going to feel more confident because you're doing it. You're not going to feel confident when you're just thinking about it. So that's my message for you today. I also want you to know that I feel like a new woman because I was reading Tapping into Wealth over the weekend, reading and listening to it. I love Audible, by the way. I made a link for it, naptimeempires.com/audible. And I made a link for the Tapping into Wealth book, which is naptimeempires.com/tapping. If you've never tried EFT, it can look and sound a little kooky. I know, I thought the same thing. But it's been one of my favorite tools for getting out of a funk since my first year in business. Anyway, all that to say, this weekend I got really inspired because this is actually the 4th anniversary month of A Course About Copy. So I first launched my course 4 years ago this month, and I'm feeling really mushy and throwing a party, surprise party for my alumni inside my group. But I also really want to support those who are not yet in the group and create a fun, fresh training just to help you get out there and use your voice and put yourself out there this year. So find me on Facebook or in your inbox and reply to my emails, please, and let me know what you'd love for me to cover. And then I'll keep you posted as to when we're going to do some Facebook Lives and some live trainings and all that goodness, because I really want to support you around this. We need your voice. It matters no more and no less than anyone else's. I also refer you back to a previous episode on the difference between you and them, because it truly comes down to a decision. And that's it. Cheering you on from the studio guest room today as my leg has fallen asleep and it's time for me to go wake up Deacon and go do the car run. But I hope to see you in my inbox or on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for spending time with me today. See you next time. This show may be over, but the conversation is just beginning. Head on over to naptimeempires.com/Facebook so you can join my free... Wait, did I say free? I meant priceless, rapidly growing community of Naptime Empire builders for deeper discussions, behind-the-scenes scoop, and of course, updates whenever I've got new stuff coming up for you. naptimeempires.com/Facebook. See you there.
See you next time. Thanks for listening.